Good morning, people. Welcome back. Nate Ivy with you. Thank you for being here. Many things to discuss. I want to get the show started quickly. I've got about maybe an hour to 90 minutes, and I got to make a move this morning. My apologies. Many things to discuss this morning. A woman scorned is nothing to play with. Say it with me. A woman scorned is nothing to play with. Why am I bringing that up? What's the meaning behind that title? Well, there's some more celebrity marriage drama that involves Gary Owen, his wife, or estranged wife, soon to be, it seems like ex-wife, Kenya Duke Owens, went back on social media over the weekend to air some more dirty laundry. Apparently, she's naming names. She's tagging females. And I want to get your thoughts about infidelity this morning. I want to get your thoughts about that. 513-873-7134. Things ain't like they used to be, but things never were what we thought they were. I'll say it again. Things are not like they used to be, but things never were what we think they were. Infidelity's always been around. I don't know if people are more or less likely today than they used to be. Something tells me it's probably the same. Okay. Thank you so much, Toy Lynn. I appreciate that. Just got this message right here. She's doing big things in the city. We'll talk with her hopefully real soon. I'm working on that. So if you don't know the story on Gary Owen, again, I'm bringing this up because it's less about them, it's more about us. This is something that people deal with in relationships and in situationships and things like that. But in the age of social media, everybody goes straight to social media with their feelings. That's just the way we live in these days. Social media is an extension of people's feelings now. And in some cases, people will go to social media before they even talk to people around them. They feel more comfortable about it. And I think it comes down to people who have a desire for stimuli. They want some kind of response. Have you seen this? Apparently, a woman named Brianna Johnson, who's a nurse at Memorial Hermann Health, has been spending time with Gary Owen. Her Twitter handle is truly Kenya, but Kenya Owens is airing all the dirty laundry on social media. We must discuss. Quote, you didn't care at Gary Owen comedy is married, and you don't seem to care. He still hasn't seen his kids, which is weird because you are a baby mama. He still don't financially support his wife. Although he has sent me zero money from a company I helped build. I am still paying bills. Did you enjoy the Bahamas and Florida spending our family money? You can have him, but the money, nope, lawyer up. You have now become a big part of this divorce, girl. Can't wait to see that tan in court. By the way, your friends don't like you. They out here spilling all your cheating tea. What? What in the hell? That's just the first part. There's more. And again, I'm one of the people, man. I'm Mr. Love. I'm all about love. I support people in their marriages. I want people to stay happy if in fact that makes them happy. If it don't, split it up. But damn, yo, Gary's out here doing that. That's got to be a major blow. And again, I'm not asking you to talk about any of your personal business. Whatever you dealt with personally is up to you. But in general, I want to get your thoughts about this. Get your thoughts. Like, what would you do? What would you do? 513-873-7134. She got like 4,800 likes. I'm like, damn. It's like that? It's like that? And I hear this question come up all the time. Why be married if you're going to cheat? I hear that question come up all the time. And I think it's like, I think in some cases people can be in marriages where they seem as if they're very happy. And then they see an opportunity and they just jump with it. Is that possible? Can you be married and happily married and still cheat? That's interesting. 513. Or if you're in a marriage or committed relationship and somebody steps out, that always means that something is missing. I don't know. And I don't want to get into a men versus women debate because I think that men and women probably cheat for the same reasons, generally speaking. Men are way more emotional, and their emotional feelings manifest in sex way more than society and culture allows men to be, because we just nothing more than just ego and testicles. What's up? We're a little bit more than that. So let me let that ponder with you. Let it marinate just a little bit. And I want to back up a bit and talk about your weekend. How was your weekend? Hopefully it was well. Hopefully it was relaxing. Hopefully you got a chance to unplug from the matrix. My son he's taking those first steps in basketball. And yesterday was the first day of the rest of our summer and the beginning of his basketball training. He's been playing like a little 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old basketball. And up until this point, I've just been observing. I didn't want to come in and start, doing the whole daddy coach thing because I wanted to see what the boy was made of and just give him a chance to have fun and just run, which he's good at. I wanted to see what his strengths were. And I've done that. And I don't know if you ever seen like 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, man. It is some of the funniest basketball you're ever going to see because usually the majority of the kids don't have no idea how to dribble. My son included. They have no idea how to dribble. They have no idea what to do. And then there's always one or two kids that are like basketball prodigies. They out there like 6-year-old Steph Curry out there hitting threes, not dunking, of course. This little boy put a move on. He couldn't be no more than 7 years old. He put a move on. On the court yesterday. And then as he's running back, he's like bumping his chest and kissing his fingertips up to God, like straight from the NBA. I'm like, what the hell? It's always like that, though. Like 6-year-old, there's always a little 6-year-old basketball prodigy out there shooting floaters from the free throw line. This happened to see yesterday. Out there shooting floaters from the free throw line. It is hilarious, man. It is hilarious. My son, I'll be honest with you, at this point, he don't know what the hell he's doing. He has no idea. He's playing defense on offense. I'm like, son, don't get over. He's like face guarding the man on offense. I'm like, dude. Now defense, oh, he got that. He got his little miniature Dennis Rodman moments out there. But offense, we got to work on that. So we started working on it yesterday. I mean, seriously. I mean, we've gone to the park here and there, but seriously starting to develop those skills. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I took him to the court yesterday after basketball practice. We was out there for 2 hours. You should have heard him whining. Dad, I'm so thirsty. Dad. Can we go home? It was hilarious. I just chuckled to myself. It didn't bother me not one bit. It didn't bother me one bit because it's all part of the process. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was whining. I'm hot. I'm sweating. There's bees. There's ants. There's everything outside, Dad. Can we just go home? I need some shade. These kids these days, man, spend all their time indoors. I need some shade, he said, Dad. That's what he told me yesterday. Now, I'm outside getting because he's working out, playing. Well, he was playing at first. So I said, well, hell, I'm going to get my workout in. So I'm working out on the court next to him. Dad, I need some shade. Can I go to the car? I'm like, man, get some shade right there. And I pointed to a bush that was giving some shade to the basketball court, right? I was like, sit right there. He was like, sit right there. Donald writes, take Junior to Junior Dribblers at Friars Club, Nate. They provide a great foundation. I may do that, but his dad is going to help him too. That's the right of every dad. That's the right of every dad to teach his son or his daughter about the game of basketball. All right. So I appreciate that, Donald. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. I mean, I definitely listen. That's the reason why we put him in what he's doing now. You know, they're teaching him the basics is by like a real basketball coach. And it's actually the Warner Hills High School basketball coach. And I think I like what I see from him. And yeah, he definitely needs that. But his dad is going to be the difference maker. And it's just so funny because, you know, he'd be like one of the kids out there, like I said, has no idea what's going on. And I just sit over there and just chuckle to myself because I see all the potential. I'm like, yeah, they just don't know. My boy going to be special. They just don't know. The coach came over to me, I don't know when it was, maybe like a month or so ago. And I guess he felt like he was consoling me or something, but I already know. Can't nobody tell me. If he decided he wanted to get super, super dedicated, he's got all the skills. He's got all the skills. The coach came over to me like a month or two ago. Last time before yesterday, we were at practice. He's like, yeah, you know, well, they start out somewhere, Dad. He's like, we had a kid just like him. He ended up being like Division I, going college. I'm like, I already know. You got to tell me. I already know. I'm telling you, if he decides to dedicate himself, he's gonna be dope at whatever he does because he's my son. It's just that I ain't surprised the apple don't fall far from the tree. He's gonna be dope. I'm gonna make sure of it. So yesterday he just whined and whined and whined. I did it for a purpose because he needs to work on all of his skills, including shooting the ball. You know, he just don't have the strength and technique yet. So what do? We outside like 2 hours. He's like, Dad, I want to go home, Dad. He's like, it was hilarious. You should have been there, man. You should have been there. It was the funniest thing ever. I'm doing it for a purpose because the purpose was that I wanted him to make at least one shot before we leave. So I tell him like, look, you tired? Yes. You thirsty? Yes. Well, you make a shot, we leave. You should have seen this boy. Shot after shot after shot after shot. he was serious about it. It was hilarious. I was cracking up to myself, very pleased. Shot after shot. Dad, you're gonna have to help me. Shot after shot. Clunk, clunk, clunk. And not even clumps, just completely missing the rim. Then I start hitting him with that daddy motivation. Oh, you got this, son. You getting close. You getting close. I can see it. Should have seen his face light up. Lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, Dad believes in me. Guess what happened? Swish, he hit that shot. He hit that shot. And what do? I packed the stuff up immediately. We out the door. I'm just training him, getting him ready. I'm telling you, he's gonna be a monster out there one day if he decides to continue. It's gonna be an absolute problem out there. So who's that little boy? Yeah, that's Junior. That's Junior out there. But it was a lot of fun though. Kids are hilarious, man. Kids are absolutely funny. They really, really are. Kids are just, you know, I never thought of myself as, I see some of my cardiac medicine over there, be better than me. Kids are, you know, I never thought of myself as a father. You know what I'm saying? I never thought we have children. Think children just kind of happen. But man, they are so much fun. They can be hilarious. They can be hilarious, especially when they're complaining. Dad, I don't want to sit there. I said, that's shade. That's not shade, he said. I'm talking about the kind of shade that's in the car. That's what this boy told me. Man, I said, look, that's the original shade, man. You better stand behind that bush. So I had to go over there and sit on the floor with him, on the court with him. There's a bush that lines up the side of the court. It was some nice shade, though. I mean, like, growing up in the 70s and 80s, shit, I was better than AC on a hot summer day. But we spent all our time outside. You know what I'm saying? He spends all his time indoors on a damn device. We was outside doing all kind of stuff. You know, risking our lives every single day. You know, all the normal stuff kids used to do. All the normal stuff. Almost getting falling out of trees and breaking your neck, almost drowning, almost getting hit by a car because the ball goes to the car and you're not paying attention. You just run out there and the car screeches, screech. I mean, all that. That's all about being a kid. Nowadays, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. He just don't know though. He's lucky. He's lucky. I'm his dad. I'm gonna get them together. But shout out to Jordan. I appreciate that. I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, it was hilarious. We had hella fun. So that was yesterday. I missed the NBA Finals. I see the Milwaukee Bucks won this morning. Sorry. I mean, I'm into it. Don't get me wrong, but whole game, no. Caramel Rice, poor baby, poor baby. See, poor baby. You got to make them tough. We was on the court yesterday, and near the end of the game, I mean, them 6-year-olds don't know nothing about no fouls. They just slapping for the ball. Little boy slaps for the ball. My son shooting, hits him in the face. Now, I suspect the little boy got frustrated and, decided to bump it. I'm just going to go for mine. What does my son do? Comes running over to me, to holding his face. I'm like, boy, you better get your hands back. What you come over here for? You're sitting right here on my shoulder. Well, you better get your ass back out there. But dad, you better be out there. Embarrassing me in front of these people. You better get out there and be tough. He hit me, dad. Hit him back. That's what you got hands for. Don't you got hands? Yup. Don't you got elbows? Yup. What you gonna do with them? Sitting there like this. I'm hitting with that tough love. Tough love. Caramel Rice, indoors cool. No, you don't make basketball players playing completely indoors. It starts outdoors, on the asphalt, in the hot sun. That this is something about the bounce of the ball on asphalt with the double rims that you got to go through first, Caramel. See, this is women. It's the difference between men and women. Men know these things. Women don't know these things, typically speaking. Might be a few out there. Let me see here. Brandy writes, good morning. Good to see you, Brandy. Some poor baby. Samantha writes, good Monday morning. Nate and the Choppers, good morning to you. Politically Petty Podcast Show writes, I tried the same thing with my son, Nate. It took forever to make a shot. I thought we were going to miss Christmas, and this was in August. Listen, you want to go home? Hit that shot. He just don't know. It starts with one shot. Eventually, it's going to be 10. Hit 10 shots, then we can live the gym. That's what I used to do. Got to hit at least 100 shots before we leave the gym today. 100. That's what Kobe did. That's what Oscar Robertson did. That's what David Robinson did. That's what my son's going to do. In the hot sun, get ready for it. He upstairs somewhere right now. He don't know. He ain't ready for it. He ain't ready for it. But he's going to be ready. OMG, torturing that baby. Yeah, uh-huh. Yo, we're going to torture him just like LaMelo Ball's dad did. Torture him straight to the NBA Rookie of the Year. Torture him just like Michael Jackson's father did. Joe, he tortured his kid. He tortured Michael straight into superstardom. Yeah, we're going to torture the hell out of him. We're going to torture him straight to greatness. Deshauna writes, good morning, Nathan, and happy gloomy Monday, but make the best out of it and stay safe. Caramel writes, cheaters cheat because they want to, period. Ultimately, I think you're right about that. Regina writes, good morning, all. What's going on, everything? Good morning to you, Regina. Chuck writes, up. Crystal writes, good morning. T. Greg's in the house. He writes, good morning, alt middle. He wants to be cool. If you don't stop. Dale writes, Nate building that work ethic and toughness. Thank you. See, men understand this. You got to build that work ethic and that toughness. I don't go come over here. Tell me you got hit in the face. I got hit in the eye, Dad. Okay. What you want me to do about that? Team needs you out there. You gonna cry on the sidelines? You gonna get out there? You get your ass out there. I didn't get cut no corners when I was younger. I couldn't come home talking about they ran me home. I did it once, and they forced me to go straight back outside. Oh, I'm like, I got to fight 3 kids now. Yeah, mom's dude wasn't playing for that. I'm like, what happened now? You better get your ass back out there. Yeah, that was a different time now. Nowadays, parents want to fight the kids. I'm like, look outside, it's just one kid. Better get out there and fight. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. All right, feeling better now. Better get out there and fight. Better get out there and dribble that ball, boy. You should have heard him. I wanted to record it. Matter of fact, I did record some of it. Not the part when he was whining, but I caught him shooting baskets. I was going to send it to his mom so she could see. It's going to be an amazing transformation. Give him 2 years. He'll be one of them kids out there like, damn, he's shooting floaters now? No doubt about it. If he decides to stay with it. LaMelo is better than Lonzo. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Nat writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you. Carolina's cracking up over here. You are funny. Talking about some. You are hilarious. Thomas like, that boy want to be cool indoors. You got to be uncomfortable to get anything done in life, right? Got to step outside your comfort zone. His comfort zone is indoors. That's why I'm going to take him straight outside. We're going to break that. It's hilarious. I'm telling you, it's going to be I keep telling the wifey, he is going to be a source of entertainment for me moving forward. It's going to be hilarious just to sit back and watch. Let's talk about some local news here that you may or may not care about. I'm reading that Christopher Smitherman, who's currently the chair of Law and Public Safety, the vice mayor, he's been on city council for at least 8 to 10, 12 years, somewhere around there. But now he's made it official. He is starting an independent campaign for Hamilton County Commissioner. 10 years he's been on city council, 10 years, running as an independent candidate. Some speculate that he's more a Republican than an independent. Somebody posted the link to Cincinnati.com in the Friends page. The friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show, feel free to join on Facebook. And apparently the campaign has a website, smithermanforcommissioner.com. Let me go to the website right now and check this out. Running to strengthen Hamilton County. Okay, they got the whole 9 yards up. The whole 9 yards. You can register to volunteer. You can do all of that. Meet Christopher. Got some cool pictures of him and his family here. They've got a picture with him in Obama. Right. Christopher Smitherman and President Obama. And the picture with him and Governor Mike DeWine. So he's hitting both sides of the fence, right? I'm an independent. I can work with the Democrats and the Republicans. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I'd like to get your thoughts about that. Can you see, if the race was today, would you support Christopher Smitherman for Hamilton County Commissioner? I'd like to get your thoughts. And only your honest thoughts about it at 513-873-7134. So 10 years on city council. Now he wants to be a Hamilton County Commissioner. Now let's think for a second what that would be like. That would mean that he would have to defeat Stephanie Summerall Dumas. Like right now in Hamilton County, we got history. First ever all-female Hamilton commissioners. In fact, I think it's historic in two sides. Number one, all female, and number two, all Democrat. I think that's the first time in Ohio for one of those things, if not both. How would that work? Well, things work with the majority on the council. On commissions, right? So the Democrats theoretically would still hold a 2-seat to 1 advantage. So whatever they want would go. But how do people view Stephanie Summerall Dumas as opposed to Christopher Smitherman? Now, listen, we've all known, if you watch this show for any long length of time, we've known about this for some time. And it's the reason why, in my opinion, that Christopher Smitherman has spent so much time on 700 WLW and these other primarily white male, these radio stations where all of the hosts are white males, is because they have an audience that speaks to the broader electorate, Hamilton County and beyond. And so by attaching himself to those media outlets and, doing the whole good Negro routine, the good Negro routine, that's what I call it. You might call it something else. Then he ingratiates himself with that part of the electorate. How will Black people perceive Christopher Smitherman in Hamilton County? Well, Black people are the minority in Hamilton County. Look at the whole county-wide race. And so it could be a city versus the outlying areas kind of thing. But even within the city of Cincinnati, with his history as being the president of the NAACP, being a Black man, how do you think that Black voters in Hamilton County will respond to Christopher Smitherman? Politically Petty Podcast Show writes Chris Tim Smitherman Scott. T. Greg, who has been caping for Christopher Smitherman since the day he was born. It feels like, right? It's 12 years, 2003 to 2005, and 2011 to 2021 for the vice mayor. Hashtag alt middle. Anthony writes, I have no trust in Smitherman. Vicky writes, hell no. Bold Writing writes, good morning. I'd like to get your thoughts. If the election were held today, would you vote for Christopher Smitherman over Stephanie Summerall Dumas? It's real simple. Vicky writes, Smitherman is a hypocrite. I like to know. White folks love Christopher Smitherman. White people love Christopher Smitherman. He's got the conservatives on lock. And running as an independent, I think, would be very attractive to a lot of people who are fed up with both of the majority parties, right? The Democrats and the Republicans. And like I told you, black folks love to forgive. And all you got to do is show up with some chicken and some watermelon and some sweet potato pie. And some black voters and smile real big and show them pearly whites. And some black voters will go for that. So I do not suspect that he's not going to have any black support whatsoever. I suspect he'll probably have some tangibles. Nat writes, Smitherman needs to come on your show. I'll reach out to Mr. Smitherman and he might. Or he might say, you know what? Why risk it? Why go on his show and risk slipping on a banana peel when I can just ignore it? I mean, that's what other people do. So I don't know, but I'll reach out as always. Bold Writing writes, will Smitherman come to the Cincinnati NAACP and Prince Hall Mason's candidates forum? That's a good question. Stephanie Summerall Dumas will be there. What a bad look if he turns down our invite. It would be a very bad look in the black community, but look at Joe Dieters. He turned it down and won. So what we learned is that if you can get those white Republican, those county, larger county outside the city votes, then you can carry the day. And like I told you, because he's a black man, because he's an independent, because he was the former president of NAACP, he's already got support in the black community. There's black people that are just waiting to hear from him. And all he got to do is talk with that forked tongue and talk that slick-ish, and it'll work like a charm. It will work like a charm. Just show up with some watermelon and some sweet potato pie. And oh my God, don't throw in chicken. It's a wrap. Some folks gonna go straight forward. They're gonna go straight forward. I don't know. Smitherman is the William O'Neill of black Cincinnati politics. Again, I'm just here to tell you that some people like him. Some people like him. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppers. And white Republicans love him. There are white Republicans, conservatives in the Hamilton County area that absolutely adore him. Right? He's going to have major endorsements from the FOP. They're going to have the FOP, you name it. He's going to have all the big endorsements. And for some people, he's going to be looked upon as a better option than Stephanie Summerall Dumas. Now, some of that's going to be straight up gender bias. A man running against a woman. Right? Gender bias is still real in Cincinnati. Thighs or wings? You already know wings. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Jerome. Nat writes, how can a black person not have a problem with Smitherman tap dancing down the dial, pathologizing black people? Those racists love him for a reason. Well, not everybody hears it. That's number one. And, Smitherman's going to be able to say, here are things that we got done when I was the president of the NAACP. That's going to go a long way. If you know or you work with Stephanie Summerall Dumas, she better buckle up. It's time to buckle up because you got a challenge on your hands. You got a real challenge. I said the same thing months ago. I'll say it again. You got a challenge on your hand. Get ready for it. And if she's not ready for it, he's going to run it straight and take that seat. Now, how effective is he going to be? I don't know. The Democrats are still going to have a majority, so it's going to be a Democrat rule. But could he have something to offer on the county level? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. See, before there was a lot of conversation about him running for mayor. For whatever reason, maybe it was timing with the tragic passing of his wife. He decided, nah. I'm gonna do this Hamilton County Commissioner thing. Might serve him. We shall see. What do you think? Ronald writes, good morning, Chop Shop. You have to be ready to run as an independent if you don't like the candidates for a position that you could be good at. Political Petty Podcast Show writes, Dumas is low-hanging fruit. She better get ready. Yeah, she better get ready. She should already be ready. In fact, if she's not already ready, she is way behind the game. She is way behind the game. I think it's going to be interesting. Bo Writing writes, Smitherman been on a decade-year abandonment of the black media in the community. He has an uphill battle winning our community. All he'll have to do is to go on the Lincoln Ware show and do that razzmatazz. And if he's asked as to why he doesn't do black media, blame it on Jerry Tolliver somehow. Do that razzmatazz. Like some of these politicians, listen, say what you want about Christopher Smitherman, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about him. I'll say it before I'll say it again. He is a highly intelligent man. He is highly intelligent, highly motivated, very charismatic, right? Come into a room, make you feel special. Those are very good traits. And if you know how to put it all together, then you can parlay it into whatever it is you're trying to make, whether it be council or whatever it might be. So I hear what you're saying, Bold Writing, but I knows my people. And we love a redemption story. We love a comeback tour, and we love to forgive. And it don't take a whole lot. Black folks is so forgiving. We so forgiving. It don't take a whole lot. They are not going for it. People love Jerry. I'm just telling you. Caramel writes, don't have to get ready if I stay ready. Absolutely. T. Greg, like I said, he's been caping for Smitherman since the umbilical cord was cut, seemingly. He's caping this morning. The vice mayor and former NAACP pres has deep ties in the black community. # alt middle. Nat writes, Slitherman has a beef with a professional black woman. Go figure, shaking my head. Probably not anymore, but there was some dumb stuff going on. I bet Smitherman has Joe Dieters in his campaign video. He'd be smart to have Joe Dieters in his campaign video. He'd be smart. And I guarantee you he's going to have some prominent black folks in his campaign video too. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So as an independent, you can play both sides. And again, like I said, people are so dissatisfied with the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. Being an independent, if you can parlay it right, is actually very valuable. It's actually very valuable because if you can play to both sides and the middle. I can rock with what some of the Democrats can say, right? It goes something like this. You're an independent, you can say, I work with Republicans when Republicans have good ideas. If you're an independent, you can say, I work with Democrats when the Democrats have got good ideas, right? You can also say, I'm not beholden to either two parties. I walk my own ground. I'm my own person. I'm an independent. Those are very powerful things. Cincinnati voters are sick to death of the partisan gridlock. They sick to death of the Democrats. They sick to death of the Republican Party. They sick of that. So if you can offer them an attractive alternative as an independent and push the buttons and talk about the issues that they care about and still come across as if you're somebody that can get things done, that's hella valuable. Black Russia writes, I'm hearing from reliable sources that Dumas won't seek re-election, # alt middle. Well, if she doesn't seek re-election, then the Democrats need to start grooming a candidate right now. And why would she seek re-election? She just got down there. Can't be that bad of a job being a Hamilton County Commissioner. Bold Writing writes, what he's going to tout with the NAACP, trying to recall the black mayor, trying to stop the streetcars, the president of a civil rights organization. Will he mention destroyer of mahoganies? No, they'll probably talk about the water deal, right? And then leveraging CPS to work with more minority contractors, something like that. Yeah, he probably won't bring up mahoganies. You like playing the Tim Scott role down the dial and show a picture of him and Barack Obama at the same time. Sounds very Polly Pastor like. Dale writes, Winburn should run against Smitherman. Huh. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I wonder if the Republicans will offer up a candidate. I know they're very, very friendly with Christopher Smitherman, so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. A lot of speculation. Apparently, he needs 3,400 signatures to get on the ballot. I don't think that'll be a problem whatsoever. Stephanie Dumas hasn't announced her plans to this point. So far, no one has pulled petitions to run for the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners yet, according to the County Board of Elections. And we shall see. We shall see. You know, Stephanie Dumas surprised everybody when she upset Republican veteran Chris Monzell, who, hey, he's a good guy. Chris Monzell seems like a good guy. I don't like a lot of his politics. He seems like a cool guy or good guy. We'll leave it that way. We shall see. So again, if the election was held today, would you vote for Christopher Smitherman for Hamilton County Commissioner? What do you think about the news that he is running as an independent for Hamilton County Commissioner? I'd like to get your thoughts about it. If you don't have any thoughts about it, or you're outside Hamilton County, you're like, later for that. Cool. Just chill. We'll get you. We'll get you in. But that's what I want to know right here, right now. I want to get your thoughts on it. And Smitherman's name comes up quite a bit. You know, my thing is I'm just sick of the Smitherman show. Just like I got sick of the Trump show. The Trump show got old to me. The Smitherman show got old to me. Always talking about gangified text messages. Now, it worked. You got to give him credit for it. It worked. He was able to create an environment that got rid of some of his enemies and to keep this conversation going about corruption or whatever. And that's great. Speaking of which, the task force now has recommendations, some of which I think make a lot of sense. You know, the mayor put together a task force on corruption, anti-corruption. They came back with some recommendations. Remind me to share with you this week, not today, but this week. I'll share it with you. And I just thought there was a lot of dumb shit around Smitherman. So we'll see. Maybe as a commissioner, it'll be something different. Danita writes, good marvelous Monday, all. Good marvelous Monday. And again, I don't have any personal beef. I just, in my personal contact with Smitherman, I've known him to be a liar. Like I told you before, he tried to lie on me to Jerry Tolliver at the time. He tried to tell her that I was thinking about leaving the radio station to go to 700 WLW, when in fact, that's what he was thinking. And when she told me that, I was like, he did what? Just some old Two-Face-ish. I have no idea why the man would do that, but that's what happened. Politically Petty Podcast Show writes, the Trisha Mackey interview put it over the top. Yeah, Trisha Mackey, shame on her for exploiting the death of Pamela Smitherman for your own ratings and political gain. And I just thought it was just, who cares? You know, if my wife is dying of cancer, the last thing I care about is about what somebody said on council chambers about her. What I care about is that chemo. You know, is it working? But everybody's different. The Republican Party will not run a candidate for commissioner. They already have a candidate in Smitherman. Let's be real. Absolutely right about that. I think he's right about that. 513-873-7134. So when we kicked off the show, and the title of the show is A Woman Scorned is Nothing to Play With. I'm talking about Kenya Owens Duke, or Kenya Duke Owens. And it's funny because now whenever her name is in the media, it's just Kenya Duke with no Owen. She put something on Instagram over the weekend, basically naming the names and pointing fingers at her soon to be ex-husband, Gary Owens, claiming that, you know, he was spending money on and dating a woman named Breonna Johnson. I don't know who Breonna Johnson is, but I know she woke up over the weekend like, what in the hell? What in the hell? And the reality is that, you know, there's a lot of married women out there. There's a lot of women, married or otherwise, that would mess around with a married man for a lot of different reasons, let alone a married man that's a celebrity. You know, there's women out there that have messed with a married man that's just got like, you know, an ordinary job. You know, let alone somebody that's got like an elevated stature, like he's a celebrity, things like that. So I can imagine. I can imagine that Gary Owens probably had a lot of women trying to get at him. You know what I'm saying? On some cases, black women, because he's married to a black woman. And there's a certain kind of woman that will seduce them and turn them on for whatever reason. So I don't doubt that one bit that he had the opportunity, but that's interesting. You see, let me pick up here. She writes, you know my feelings about character. You know firsthand I am not a liar, but you would prefer to have me think I am wrong about you so you can cover up your dirt and run around town telling everyone you're a good guy. Really? You're a bold ass narcissist and karma is real. I know exactly how long she has been one of the women you cheated with. So save that lie. How are you going to be sleeping with someone's husband and have prayer hands and references to scripture on your Instagram? These hoes today, no shame, no boundaries. That's interesting. But that's the world we live in. You know, I've been saying it, I'll say it again. Narcissism, self-importantism is at an all-time high. We have never been more full of ourselves as human beings as we are right now. Everybody feels like everything you feel is exactly what you should get. That's how the world is now. Everybody's a budding superstar and everybody is completely caught up with themselves. Now, I'm generalizing when I say this because there's exceptions to every rule, but I'm saying the percentage of the people who feel that way for real, whether they reveal it or not, is at an all-time high. At an all-time high. That's interesting. So you messing with a married man, but then on your Instagram, you putting up stuff about Jesus. To me, it sounds like a contradiction, but people do that. People do that. And that's because, why is that? That's because, you know, Christianity, being a Christian is no longer about sacrifice. It's just all about whether you believe or not. It ain't about sacrifice. I think there was a time when people who felt like religious or identified as Christian, we'll just use that. They understood and felt as if what came with that was the sacrifices that you make, for your God. That shit is out the window these days. Nobody wants to sacrifice anymore. Like I said, it's the post-Oprahfication of America. What we learned from Oprah is that whatever you feel and whatever you do is somebody else's fault. It's not your fault. It's somebody else's fault. And Oprah has taught us through her many, many years of being on the air that the ends justify the means if it's your true self. That's what it is. So if you got a woman out there and she messing with Gary Owen and she likes him, that's all that matters. Her husband, his wife doesn't matter at all. That's just how it is. Like I said, narcissism is at an all-time high. All-time high, Craig. Self-importantism, all-time high. All-time high. And a lot of people are looking for happiness, I don't know, in other people. Now, for me, happiness comes from within. It comes from your own thoughts, the way you look at the world. That's what makes you happy or not. That's why you can hear people say stuff like, money don't buy happiness. Yeah, because money buys things. Happiness comes from the way that you interpret the world around you. It's your attitude, it's your thoughts. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. No shame, no boundaries. It's a tough one. Brandy writes, yes, narcissism is so real. Narcissism is so real. It's so real where, again, all you got to do is go on Facebook, go on Instagram, you'll see it. You'll see it. Everybody's caught up with themselves. Everybody's a budding superstar model. Everybody's got a following and everybody's looking for validation. Everybody is a stretch. I'm generalizing. I know that doesn't mean every single person, just so you know. I'm speaking in sweeping generalizations. I'll say it again. There's exceptions to every rule. But, this is what's happening. So I want to talk about this. Nat writes, how is putting all of your business over the internet helpful? And she has kids shaking my damn head. That's because that's what people do these days. When people have stuff that's going in a relationship, not everybody, but people will start putting up stuff on Instagram and Facebook, little cryptic messages and shit like that. That's just how people do it. And I think they do it because they're looking for validation. They're looking for likes. They're looking for people to say, I understand too, or I've been there and all this kind of stuff. That means a lot to people these days. It is what it is. I'm not criticizing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I mean, I might do things a bit differently, but I get it. You know, you can get that instant gratification. You feel in a certain way, you post something, you get 2 or 3 likes, or people start jumping to your DMs. You okay? What's going on? You all right? That's why people do that kind of stuff, because they're looking for that response. They're looking for that validation. They're looking for that whatever. You see, Billy writes, Nate, I feel you. When it comes to Junior, Trey Thomas is always in the gym or on the field training. Absolutely, Billy. Good morning to you. You got to get them young, man. That's a father's job, to get your kids, not just your daughter or your son, but your son and your daughter, to push them toward the athletics. And if they go to a sport that you used to play, you got to get out there with them. You know what I'm saying? I think my boy could be special. I mean, I think I'm not even thinking about the NBA or colleges or anything like that. I'm just thinking about him being a student athlete. That's it. Strong body, strong mind. When he's in high school, he's going to have to do something physical, some kind of competitive physical sport, and also be a scholar. I don't want him to do just one. He's got to do both. He's got to do both. So, yeah. I'm so tired, Dad. I'm so tired. You should have heard him. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Oh, Dad, can we get some shade? Yeah, right here. No, I'm talking about shade in the car. I'm like, I just laugh because you got to expect all these things. He's 6 years old, but it's time. It's time. It's time for him for his dad to help him get his game together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll post videos probably on Instagram if we follow each other on Instagram. If not, let's connect. Bo Writing writes, Gary's ex been randomly accusing women of cheating with her husband, like my girl Claudia Jordan, and she keeps saying, B, keep my name out your mouth. I got a whole man at home. I don't want your man. Could be. Yeah, she has been. I don't know. It's just a really bad feeling. I mean, I can understand. I can relate on some levels. I told you about my experience in college. So I get it. I think when you're married, though, like I said, looking back, that wasn't really cheating. You can't cheat unless you got a relationship, like a committed relationship with somebody. Other than that is just what's the stuff that girlfriend, boyfriends do. My question to you is, I got many questions for you. Can a relationship survive infidelity, in your opinion? Does it depend on who it is? Is it easier for a relationship to survive infidelity when it's the man that steps out? Is it more difficult when it's the woman? Or does it really not matter? I'd like to know. I mean, I think that a relationship can recover damn near anything if the two people want it to work, right? I believe in that. Like if two people want to be together, they want to be together no matter what. That's what my gut tells me. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts. Again, check out the Echo Chamber podcast later on today at 8 p.m. today with Brother Christian Boykin, giving you some local talk. Some local talk in the evening every Monday right here on the CDM page. Check him out. If you missed Edna Howe yesterday, check her out. You can check out Straight Talk. She was talking about critical race theory, and in particular, what's going on in terms of race and politics on college campuses with her guests. I thought it was very interesting. You might as well check it out, and you can follow her on Facebook. Shout out to Cass. She had a birthday over the weekend. That's the reason why the Melanin Insights podcast didn't live stream yesterday, and we'll catch up with her hopefully next week. But shout out to her. I can't remember. I think she's 30 something. Can't remember something. She was out though, having a good time. I'm here for all of it. Enjoy your life. You only get one. Jordan writes, I'll say this. Infidelity isn't the worst thing that can happen in a marriage. I agree with you on that, Jordan. To me, what's worse, I've said this to people before. They're like, what's worse than infidelity? What's worse than infidelity in a marriage is that your spouse is unfaithful to you and then they give you a disease. Let's say you catch AIDS from your spouse. That's worse. That's worse. What's worse than infidelity in a marriage is your spouse brings a child into the world or a child into the relationship. That's worse than the infidelity itself. It just makes it worse, in my opinion. Those are just my thoughts. Let me see. Dale writes, I know Godfrey the comedian has words on this topic as he don't like Gary Owen and commented on their marriage prior to this. He's funny. Shiva writes, I agree. I agree. There are worse things than cheating. It's everything that goes along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I asked myself, what if I was in this situation? What if my wife cheated on me? What would I do? And I thought about this and my thoughts really haven't changed that much. I feel the same way I did now as I did at the beginning of the relationship, which is I need to know the nature of it. Why, what happened, who was it with, what went down, not all the torrid details, but just the circumstances that led to it. How do I feel about it? What was our relationship like? And then do I have AIDS? Do I have a disease? Things like that. Let me see. Politically Petty Podcast Show writes, didn't we have that same scenario with one of the choppers? Hashtag alt mental. See, look at you. Look at you. Look at you stirring the pot this morning. And then why you going to bring up that kind of stuff? That brother had a tough time with that. Brent writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Checking in from Dallas, Texas. Now, you've got me for about an hour this morning. We kicked off things 52 minutes ago, but maybe we'll go a little bit longer than that. It's a bunch of stuff going on. Shira writes, I agree. Can a relationship survive infidelity? That's what I'd like to know. 513-873-7134. I love to see Kenya and Gary get back together. They were my favorite interracial couple that went too far. I mean, who's going to take their place in popular culture? White comedian married to a black woman. He got way too comfortable telling N-word jokes. I mean, damn, who's going to play that role for us if not them? They were my favorite interracial couple that went too damn far from time to time. Who's going to play that role? I mean, give me some names here. Give me some interracial couples. Somebody can pick up the slack now that they're going to be breaking up. Let me see here. Somebody, this is again, in no way am I reveling in this whatsoever. I'm really bringing this up for the purposes of the larger audience. I mean, people deal with infidelity. They deal with these kind of issues all the time. Let's talk about it. Let me see here. You asked why I post my feelings on social media because this is how Ed Gary Owen Comedy wants to communicate. You asked why. Hey, what's up, bud? What is that? No, give me this. Give me this.
No, I've been using it for days. I'm gonna pick one of it.
You gonna what?
Pick you up.
Go ahead, man. You did it.
I can pick you up.
Yeah, you did it. You just picked me up. I was telling people about your basketball training yesterday. Tell them all about it. Tell them about your basketball practice. Come here, where the microphone?
He told me.
Get the microphone. Get closer.
He told me until I made the hoop, we could leave.
Took you a while, didn't it?
Okay. Yes, I did not need help.
What?
I did not need help.
I helped you make a basket.
No, you did not. No, you did not touch the basket.
I told him about basketball practice, the basketball game when you got hit in the face too.
Got smacked in the eye.
Yeah, you did. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Say good morning.
I'm gonna do it back to him.
It's a little late now.
Good morning.
Okay.
Cause today is a special day.
I don't think you're swimming today, man. It's just the rain and everything.
Know that.
The rain and everything.
Maybe the pool is made out of water. And the rain is made out of water. So, like, what are you talking about? What are those? What are those?
Those?
What are these?
This little boy, he is hilarious. He is absolutely hilarious. Let's see here. Why somebody say Smitherman and Down the Dial are an interracial couple? Oh man. We had a chop shop intervention. That's hilarious. Shiva writes, yes, cheating doesn't happen in a vacuum. There are most times underlying issues. I agree with that 100%. Politically Petty Podcast Show. I think I read that already. When some men cheat, they get stupid. Jenny's in the house. Good morning to you. T-Greg writes, yes, I had a relationship end bad, Warren County. Life goes on. If my baby mom and I went through long-term therapy, the relationship could be salvaged. Hindsight being 2020, it came down to marriage. Hashtag alt middle. Okay. Let me see. Bold Writing writes, it's all bad. It don't matter if you don't get a disease or if there's no baby. Infidelity is betrayal. Once you have lost trust, you have nothing. Even if you try, it will ultimately fail without trust. Could be. I think it depends on a relationship. Kendall writes, the joys of being youth. Yeah. He says, who's Kendall? That's his daughter, his sister's name. So anybody named Kendall, he's going to pick up on it. The joys of being a youth. Yeah, he's 6. He don't got a care in the world. We take care of everything. We buy all the food. We offer door-to-door chauffeur service. We pay for all the programs, all the clothes, the Wi-Fi. All he got to do is follow some basic rules. That's it. And grow and sleep and eat popsicles. That's all he got to do. So yeah, kids got it real good, don't they? They got a real. See, I remember when I was a kid, I had it good too. I enjoyed it all. Couldn't wait to get grown, but I enjoyed it all. Bo Writing writes, good morning, Junior. Charles writes, Junior is hilarious. He is. Dale writes, man, I love the interaction with your son. You know, it's become a part of the show that I like too. It just happened he just walked in and just kept walking in. I had no reason to stop him. Come on in here, bud. Come be with your dad. Brent writes, George Lucas is married to Melody Hobson. Robert De Niro married to Grace Hightower. Okay, so that's our new interracial couple, but they ain't out there pushing the envelope the way Gary and Kenya used to. You know, they used to make us uncomfortable as an interracial couple, right? She's saying the N-word. He telling all these black jokes, which he's still doing, but he's done it slightly differently. I was on his YouTube channel a couple weeks ago. Let me see. Cash writes, yes, he is hilarious. No, it's both writing. Cass writes, hey, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, happy belated to you, Cass. I should have some happy birthday music for everybody, but I don't. Danita writes, most women, yes, women aren't just giving out their bodies to any and everyone. When a woman gives her body to a man, there is an attachment. When a woman cheats, it isn't just sexual. Is that right? Okay, I can get with that. I think that makes sense. I hear you. I still don't see Junior's name on a PPE loan. Don't get Prathered. Don't get Prathered. You wrong for that, man. You wrong for don't get Prathered. You know, Kelly Prather got caught up with some of that PPP fraud stuff. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll take the sister for her word until otherwise. Hopefully she comes out of it completely unscathed. Good morning to you. What are we talking about? Well, when a woman scorned is nothing to play with, and Kenya Duke feels like she's been scorned. She's spilling all the tea. She's telling all the details about how her husband was cheating on her with a new woman named Brianna and flying her on vacations. And she helped build a company that he's spending money on this woman. And she sounds like she mad about the money. And from what I can gather, he was kicking her like 40 grand a month, which is like $480,000 a year. 40 grand, 12 months. Yeah, that's $480,000 a year just to spend. That ain't bad. So she might not miss him, but she might miss the money. I got a photograph of Kenya and Jerry doing a podcast. They did a podcast called the B Word, for CDM when we first kicked it off. She did it for about a year or so. So I got a chance to interact with her just a little bit. I don't know her. We had an interaction, a confrontation. And again, I tell this story from time to time, and I cannot for the life of me remember why we got into it. We got into it about somebody being late, but I can't remember whether I was late or she was late. And I think what happened was I was late to one of our producer meetings. And so she stepped to me on some I expect for my producers to be here and da-da-da-da-da-da. And so, I definitely understood and respect that, but it was something else that it just maybe took the conversation down a path. And I remember she got, I don't know what I said to her. I might have said something. I think we got into a conversation about the value of time. And she said something to me about how her time was more valuable than mine. I hit the fucking roof. I hit the roof because shit, the clock's running out on me like it's running out on everybody else at the same rate. So I don't give a damn who you are. You can be the president of the United States. Your time is no more valuable than mine. A minute is a minute. So I let her know that. She got all her feelings. And when I brought up her husband, she came over to me and she was like, she said something like, it's always interesting to me when men, something about being jealous of her husband. Like I was jealous of Gary Owen. And I had to tell her, like, no, boo, I'm not jealous of Gary Owen. I'm just letting you know, I don't care who you married to. Your time is no more valuable than me. So we got into it. Jerry was right there. She was like, can we just calm down? And then we smoothed it over and we kept on working. We kept on working. Like that didn't end the podcast. We kept on working and we just had a better understanding. Like I told her how I felt. She told me how she felt. I like those kind of relationships. I like those kind of people. It didn't bother me one bit. I just took the time to reflect on my own actions and I let her know exactly how I felt. But I thought it was interesting. She went to the Gary Owen card with me like I was jealous or something because her husband was Gary Owen. It's like, no, not at all. Your time is tick-tocking the same way mine is. It was something like that. Something like that. Jerry was right there. I'm sure she remembers. She was playing the good cop. Bo Writing writes, then the Virgo came out, right? The Virgo came out. I was like, huh? What? Time? You don't get your ass out of here? Kelma writes, it can survive depending on the people and how it went down. So when I was in college, I had a girlfriend. I'll tell this story again. And she cheated on me with a UC football player. What was interesting about it is I was cheating on her with different women. I wasn't going to be faithful. But, it was the same old double standard. I want to do what I want to do, but I want to have you do what I want you to do. Simple as that. I want to have my little girl over here that's only for me. Then I'm messing with all the women I want to. That was what I was doing back then. And I remember I got all of my feelings because I'm just a real pragmatist. I remember we had a conversation before she was a year older than me. So she went to college to UC a year before I did. And I remember having a conversation with her like, look, you about to be around all these different kind of people. You're going to meet dudes from all over the country. If you see something you like, just be real with me. You know what I'm saying? We can break up, just be friends. You do whatever you want to do. Now, I'm big on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, I ain't trying to nail down nobody. And I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I only want to be with a woman. She want to be with me, period. And when you don't, then you don't. Simple as that. And I don't know. I guess we was going through a rough spot in the relationship. And I can't remember even how I found out. I think I just kind of pieced it together. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're around somebody for a long time, and at that time, I think we had been together like 4 or 5 years. When you're around somebody for a long time, at least somebody like me, who has a really, really deep radar. Like my radar is really, really deep. If I spend a lot of time around anybody, I can start to read you like a book. It's just what it is. And I can't turn it off. And I just started to read her like, what's going on? Plus the fact, I think one night I was calling her and she didn't answer her phone the whole night. So I think it was that too. So she finally told me. I was pissed and shit and hurt and all that kind of shit. And looking back, it was such a waste of time and emotion because she wasn't my wife. That woman didn't owe me nothing. She was 21, 22. I care about some 22-year-old puppy love or whatever hooking up. But back then in the moment, it was like the biggest thing ever, right? But we stayed together afterward. We stayed together for like about a year. And then eventually I just really couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, you know what? I don't trust you, B. But now as a man looking back, if that same scenario, well, it'll be a different scenario because I'll be talking about a wife. That's a whole different thing. But let's say I was in the same scenario with a girlfriend. I would look at it completely different. I might have you barely. Once I made sure I didn't have no diseases or anything like that, I don't give a damn. Do whatever you want to do. That's you. Politically Petty Podcast show writes, you had a mild case of Ralph Tresvant, Nate. Yeah, I did. I got sensitive about it. I mean, who wouldn't? I think I even confronted the guy or something like that. We got into it somehow on UC's campus. It never came to blows, but you know how it is. As a man, you got to let a man know who you are, what you all about. But that was pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? That's the extent of my experience with it. But so I can understand it to some degree. But like I said, girlfriend, boyfriend, that's not cheating. That's just girlfriend and boyfriend stuff. You're only cheating if you got a commitment. You only have commitment when you're married. I'll give you engagement. Engagement isn't commitment. I'll give you that. I thought about it, Christian Boykin, if you're listening, I'll give you engagement. Like if you get on your knee and you pledge to somebody, this, that, and the other, I think that's a that can be a deal breaker, or you're severing some commitments that you've made. I'll give you that as well. Okay. But other than that, man, please. I wouldn't give a damn. Bo riding right, she acting real messy. Well, it's probably because she's in her feelings. She in her feelings. You know, she helped build up Gary Owen. She was his knee, not only his wife, but the mother of his kids. She helped to build him up. I would go so far as to say that he wouldn't be where he is today without her. The only reason why he was able to come to the barbecue was because of her. That's the only reason why he got a chance to come to the barbecue. And because he was able to get to the barbecue, he was able to use that as a platform to turn himself into a big time multi-million-dollar star. So she looking at it like, damn, I helped you do all this shit. And this is what you're doing? This is what you're doing? So I can get it on that. So now the only place you can go, well, not the only place, but one of the places where you can go to get some kind of feedback is on social media. So that's what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? She want the world to know this is what it is. She wrote, I don't care about any of the paid relationships, talking about how Gary Owens was seeing escorts. Although I do think $600 for 30 minutes is too expensive, and you were tripping if I tried to order a $12 side dish when we ate out. Why? Wait a minute. So she tried to get a $12 side dish when they go eat out. Gary Owens like, oh my God, what are you spending this money on? But then he's spending $600 for 30 minutes with escorts, allegedly. Wow, what do I care about is you doing the right thing financially when it comes to me. It ain't gonna be right until you do right. Does Brianna know I am still paying your bills? Question mark. How does an old dude choose a chick that doesn't care about his relationship with his kids and she got kids? What kind of mother can, and then she got the page isn't available. So whoever this woman is, she took her page off Instagram after Kenya Duke Owens tagged her on it. Thanks for all the info in my inbox. I have enough side chicks and escorts in my inbox to last a lifetime. No more needed. Every one of these hoes that use my half of the money will be in court. After I deal, Brianna Johnson, thanks for shouting her out on Wendy's show. That was also be used in court. Have fun on set. Y'all are tagging her. Please go correct your post. I have corrected mine. So she telling all the business. If that's messy, she getting real messy. And I'm torn on it. Like my personal style, I believe will be different. But I get it. A part of her wants to set the record straight. I think a part of her wants to even embarrass Gary Owen a bit. Everybody's so important on social media, and your social media is so important. Okay, well, great, and let everybody know what's really going on. Like I get that. That's the petty side of it. I don't know how many dividends that's really gonna pay. I don't know how many dividends that's really gonna pay. Yo, check it. To all my men out there, let me talk directly to the men, because women, y'all got enough talk shows. You have Oprah and Sally Jesse Raphael, and everybody's talking to the men, to the women. Jared Jackson, everybody's talking to women. I want to talk to men. Men, if your wife or your fiance or your longtime boo cheats on you, here's what you do. You ask yourself whether you want to stay or whether you want to go. If you decide you're going to stay, you got to be mature about it. If you decide you're going to eat this and not deal with it, then you eat this and deal with it and you move on. You can't keep bringing it up every time you get an argument, trying to use it over her head. You just can't do that. If you decide you're going to leave, then you leave. You don't have to bust the windows out of her car. You don't have to start the payments, the child support payments, or start doing a whole bunch of petty shit. This is just my personal viewpoint. This world is so cutthroat. There are very few people in this world that really care about you. How many people agree with that? How many people really agree with that? There are so few people that you're going to find that really care about you and don't have some ulterior motive. They want something from you, right? So that the absence of somebody that's good, that's been good to you, and they remove that, that is its own punishment. That's it. Fellas, if you did her right, if you was right by her, if you was true to her and try to take care of her and she dogged you out, all you got to do is walk away. You don't have to argue. You don't have to curse. You don't have to put holes in the wall. You don't have to burst the tires. You don't have to confront the other person. All you got to do is walk away, and life will take care of everything else. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Because the world is full of people out there that'll use you, and that's easy. But trying to find somebody that really care, they really want to stick around with you in a lot of cases, that's rare. That's way more difficult. So I don't know, man. Even with all of this, there's a big part of me that wishes they would just reconcile and get back together. Why not? Do another BT show, do another season of your BT reality show and talk about this. That's what everybody else do. I am not happy to hear about this and see it at all. I'm all about love. We need more love, not less love. Let me see. Caramel writes, those things are the consequences of infidelity. You talking about her going on social media? I mean, yeah, it is. It is. Like if you somebody that cheat on your spouse, you really can't get mad how they handle it. Like if they want to go on social media and do whatever they do, I don't think it's necessarily a good look for anybody, but you open the door for that. Let me see. Brent writes, commitment stands on its own merit. Let me see. Commitment stands on its own merit. I agree with you on that. But like I said, Brent, in my observation, when I look around the world, men and women, narcissism, self-importantism, I won't call it selfish, but self-centeredism is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high. And all these television shows have taught us that you should think about what you really want. And if that's something that makes you happy, then the ends justify the means. Do whatever you got to do. Rachel writes, good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. Danita writes, she needs to just stop. She is having a sucker attack all over social media. It isn't a good look. Rachel writes, she is big mad. I hope Aaron the business gives her the return she wants, but I doubt it. I don't think it will. Or maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not really sure. Cameron writes, yep, just leave if you want to leave. Don't stay and be miserable, right? Lisa writes, she needs to stop it with, he hasn't seen his kids. They're grown AF, right? Bo right and right. That's the weakest part of our argument. But that's something that's important to her as a mother, right? I guess. But nobody knew Kenya than being nothing more than his black wife. I just learned her name was Kenya during the N-word rank with Michael Blackston. I'm just saying. Let me see. Sister Iris writes, good morning, good people, good, great people. Good to see you, Sister Iris. Ebro, you said was on the money. I think you meant bro. What are you saying here, Kendall? Exactly. I'm not really sure. Let me know. 513-873-7134. So we got a couple topics popping right now. Christopher Smitherman, longtime member of City Council, is now made it official. His independent run for Hamilton County Commissioner. What do you think? Will you, if the vote was held today, would you vote for Smitherman? How do you feel about his candidacy as a Hamilton County Commissioner? How do you think he will run? How do you think he will do in the race? Can you see him being a good county commissioner? And also, we're talking about a woman scorned is nothing to play with. We're talking about Kenya Duke and the fact that she is scorching Instagram with her revelations about her soon-to-be ex-husband, it looks like, and his and his doing. So here's the question I have, though, is every woman's biggest cheerleader. Here's a question I have. The question I have is, and again, I don't expect anybody to answer this, is I've heard people say things like, well, uh, if you're going to cheat, why get married? I've heard people say that. But I think what happens is people think that marriage is going to be one thing. They think they're going to be one way in a marriage. They get into the marriage and they become somebody else. It changes. So the question becomes, why cheat and stay in the marriage? Like if you're so unhappy, if you're Gary Owen, why not just go to Kenya and say, look, this ain't working for me no right more. I want to just do other things. I'm sure it will be devastating. I'm sure she ain't gonna be happy about it. But wouldn't that be a better alternative? And the answer would be yes. But I don't think that cheaters ask for permission. They don't ask for permission. I think part of it is doing it on their own. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I don't know. You tell me. 513-873-7134. Why didn't Smitherman run as an alt middle candidate? Right. Kendall writes, I was agreeing what you were saying when you was talking about the guys. Right. Just move on. And that goes for a woman too. Like if you've been good to somebody and they did you wrong, you don't have to argue with them. You don't have to, don't let them see your tears. Just grab your ish and just leave them alone. Let them go see if the grass is really greener. And when they find out that it is not, then they'll have to deal with the lifelong circumstances. Or they might find out that it is. Great. Everybody's happy. Let me see. Because when you're rich, it might be cheaper to keep her, right? So yeah, probably. I'm on Kenya Duke's Instagram page. She posting full body shots and bikinis now. You know what that means? You already know what's good for the goose. You already know. She posting all these glamour shots and shit. You already know what's about to go down. Some dude about to get lucky. That's what's about to happen. That's just the way the world goes. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How's it going?
I'm doing well. Doing well, brother. Who am I speaking
Hey,
with?
this is Billy.
Hey, what's up, Billy?
Hey, not much, man. Not much. Me and Donnie have been married for 25 years. Together is 27. And we've been through a whole lot of what infidelity has not been part of. But I think for us, with everything we've been through and everything that we've done, for me, I couldn't see surviving no infidelity for us now. And I think I'm way past that part. I think I'm just to the point to where I would rather say, you know what, this ain't working. And I think we need to find something else to do versus breaking their heart with something you can't come back from.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
for
if
me,
Danita stepped out, do you think you could accept that?
Nah, I'm out. I'm gone. And the same way with her. If I was to do that, she'd be gone. I mean, because I think we've had conversations, and I think we're just both to the point to where, after all the time we've put in, everything that we've been through, that we would rather just be apart from one another than to hurt one another in that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It just wouldn't work for us.
Okay. All right, Billy. Anything else?
Good thing is we could be away from each other and still remain friends, or be just maybe even come back to one another after we've just broken apart. But to cheat on one another would just kind of seal the deal for either of us. Like this is not a good thing.
So you can see possibly you split up for some time, and then maybe y'all might work your way back together.
Would it be instant? But if there was,
would it be instant divorce for you, or would it be separation?
Well, I mean, it'll probably be for me, maybe instant divorce, because I don't, like I said, we've been through a whole lot, and we've had, a whole lot to deal with. I mean, and we walked through it all, together. So for us to just one of us to hurt the other one in that kind of fashion would be like, kind of saying everything we've been through really didn't mean as much as we thought it did. Mm-hmm. At least that's where I would take it. Like, you know what? Obviously, it wasn't what we thought it was. So you bounce, so I guess it's time for me to bounce. Or vice versa. I think she would feel the same way.
No, I respect it. I can definitely see it. 100%, brother. Thanks for the call.
So I love. Hey, for sure, man. Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, they said they
Yep.
married. We say 25 plus years. Whew, that's a good long time. It's a good long time. I can respect it. He said, listen, why stay together and be miserable? I get it. I get it. 100%. Kenya is hurt for sure. When you start posting things you never did before, trying to act okay. She advertising. Yeah, she advertising for real. Kenya Duke, oh, she is advertising. Two-piece bikini suits and all kind of ish and glamour shots. I mean, you already know when a woman is scorned, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Ain't no coming back from that. But the same thing with some men. You say the same thing. She is advertising. Congrats to Billy and Danita. Hashtag Black Loves Matters. I agree it. 25 years of marriage. That's a good long time. Congratulations, Billy and Danita, on 25 years of marriage. My wife and I are right there with you. Oh, you got 25 years in? Nat writes, I give anyone props being married that long. Danita writes, cheating is just too disrespectful at this point. There isn't anything that we can't talk about and walk through. To go and be with someone else is just saying, it's just saying I am through. Okay. Absolutely. Bo Ryden writes, Ephraim dress. Yep. She got the Ephraim dress out. Brent writes, he got the conservative vote and depending on turnout could possibly take that seat, given contrary concerning what was announced. Caramel writes, life is short. Get a divorce and live your life. Let me see here. Where can I find the pictures, Nate? Just for podcast resource, of course. Well, go to her. It's called her Instagram is Truly Kenya. Truly Kenya. You'll find her there. She got, I'm not sure how many she got there, but you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, I could post it, but I ain't trying to, sell sex and nothing like that per se here on the show. So if you're interested, you can check it out for yourself. But as a grown man reading this, I'm reading it like a book. I'm reading it like a book. It is. Now you got two-piece Louis Vuitton suits on. I'm like, well. Let me see. What up, John? Holy purple. Janine writes, congratulations, Brent and Danita. Billy, it will be 26 years for us in October. So we got a lot of 20-somethings here. I guess birds of a feather flock together. My wife and I are celebrating 21 years of marriage this month, as a matter of fact, coming up in less than 2 weeks. So we're going to do something special. And I've known her at least 25 years. We dated for like 3-4 years before we got married. What was we thinking? I must have been cray-cray, but it is what it is. Good morning to you. I'm starting to notice that all this time I had that Straight Talk Live logo up there. Why did I do that? I wanted to get the Nathan Ivey Show logo up there, but it's okay. Check out Straight Talk Live. Check it out. Here's the other question. If you were in a relationship, because from what I'm reading from Kenya Duke, and she got a lot of posts here, it's like 4 different posts. One of them strongly implies that she had feelings that something was going on. So here's another question for you. Here's another question for you around this topic of infidelity, kind of using this situation with Kenya and Gary Owens as a springboard. My question to you is, would you want to know? Male and female, would you want to know if your spouse has been or had cheated on you? Because again, when I read this, she talked about prayers and revealing things and knowing these things were going on and not really having confirmation until people start sending her messages and things like that. She starts talking about karma and things like that and him being a liar. So my question for you is, would you want to know if you're in a relationship with somebody and we'll say marriage or you're engaged? We won't just say relationship because that's not cheating. Girlfriend and boyfriend is not cheating. But you're in a marriage and you, for whatever reason, start to feel certain things. Would you want to know? Or is ignorance bliss? I'm reminded of a song that came out in like the 90s or the 2000s. It might have been the 2000s. And it was written by one of the Winans. I think it was Sean Winan, the light-skinned one. And he wrote this song. It was produced by Bad Boy called I Don't Wanna Know. Remember that? If you playing me, keep it on the low. Remember that? And the whole song was about how he suspects that his girl is doing something, but he's so in love with her that he don't want to know. He just want to live this lie and be in blissful ignorance. But that was a song. But songs mirror life. I'd like to know, what do you think? Would you want to know? Would you press that button? I mean, if you weigh the pros and cons of it, if you decide, hey, I feel something, but I love this person, so I'm just gonna let it ride and just keep living out my life. And if nothing really is glaring in my face, I'm not gonna really press on it. That's one way of doing it. Or you might be like, nah, real is real. I 100% want to know everything at all times so I can make the best decision for myself. And if it leads to a divorce, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. What would you choose if you were in that scenario? I'm curious. I'm curious. Hit me up with a question. Answer that question. Let's see. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Miss D writes, greetings. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Ben writes, good stuff, Nate. Enjoy the ride. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. I'm voting for Smitherman. Don't hate me. Love me anyway. Okay, you got it. Is Smitherman perfect? No. Show me who is. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think he used to cut his hair or something like that. I know you guys are cool. Nothing wrong with that. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Monday. Absolutely. Everybody got to have their own feelings about how they feel about things. Let me see. Caramel writes, congratulations to all of you long-term married couples. Thank you so much. Caramel writes, how are you in blissful ignorance if you suspect someone of cheating and you're lying about it? Well, Caramel, I think there's a difference between having a suspicion, like something looks a certain way, and then knowing 100% what actually went down. You know what I'm saying? I think you can sometimes be like, that looks a little bit, but I ain't gonna focus on it because whatever. And you just keep on going. As opposed to, okay, thank you so much for the love. As opposed to having 100% confirmation. You see, Bo Riding writes, nobody that love thyself will accept being played. Danita writes, let me know so I can decide my next move. If Billy felt like he wanted someone else love and respect me enough to say it would be hurt, but finding out or catching him would hurt way more. I think I agree with that. 100%. What would you do? Would you want to live in ignorance, blissful ignorance, in fact, if that's what it is, or would you want to know? Because sometimes when you open up that door, you can't close it. See, Brent writes, Kenya on that Mary J. Blige, I was your lover and your secretary working every day of the week. That's the reason why Mary J. Blige is so damn popular, man, because she got the music that speaks to the women that's been scorned, that's been done wrong. And she got that, she got that connection to it because of her own situation with Kendu that's very, very translatable. So people love them some Mary J. But think about it. You don't, if it's not your cup of tea, but that particular question, I get it. Do you? No issues. You can always take a free ride of my thoughts. You got me for another couple of minutes and I got to make a move. But I wanted to come with you this morning and talk about some things that were on my radar screen and get your thoughts about it this morning. As always, let me throw the number up here because we might get a late call. You're always welcome. 513-873-7134. Danita, I'm with you. I'm not that. I'm just a realist. I'm a super real person, and I think it's the Virgo in me. I always want to make a choice. Give me a choice to decide as to whether I want to be involved or not. I might decide I want to be involved. I might decide I don't want to be involved, but it's got to be a choice that I make. And I don't know if it's a Virgo thing or a man thing or whatever, but I don't think I could live like that. In fact, I don't think I could. If I start to suspect something with my wife, I'm married right now. If I start to suspect something, I'm going to push that button until I find out what's going on, either one way or the other. And then I'll make a decision as to whatever I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out, I'm out. If I'm staying, I'm staying. But the in-between part would mess with me the most. You know what I'm saying? That's what would mess with me the most. To me, honesty and respect go hand in hand. And the way I look at infidelity is, Whatever I do, I do. So if I decide to do something, I'm not one to want to hide things because it makes me feel a certain way about myself as a man. It's hard to explain, but I just feel as a man, if I'm bold enough to do something, then I'm bold enough to say I did it and deal with the consequences no matter what they are. To me, it's all wrapped up in it. That's just me, where I am. Not everybody feel that way. Not everybody feel that way. Some people do shit, they like, damn, why I do that? I was drinking or I got caught up and I know if I tell this person something that's gonna hurt them, they probably gonna leave me. But I would rather, I'd rather just be straight up. She make her own decision. She want to stay, she stays. She don't, she don't. But I'm just 100% one of those kind of people that believes in being real and transparent. And then you make your own decision and vice versa. So because I'm like that, then that's what I want back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing less than that. 100% honesty about all things. If I get my feelings hurt, I get my feelings hurt. So what? Feelings, you get over feelings. Life is great. Tiffany writes, it's not the Virgo in you. I'm a Taurus. I'm the same way. Right. Right. So it's not just that. It's just a personality thing. Keep it 100 with me. Keep it 100 with me all the time about everything. And because for me, if I found out in a different way, I lose respect for you. We got no choice. We got no chances of ever doing anything then because now I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying? And trust is everything in a marriage, in a relationship. Cass writes, I'm a Cancer and if I feel something is off, I'm gonna keep pushing that button until I get to the bottom of it. I agree. Let me make the choice. I'm the same way, Cass. If I feel like something's going on, I'm never gonna let it go. I'm never gonna let it go. I'm gonna keep digging and keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. I'm gonna start doing my own investigations. I'm gonna do the whole Perry Mason if I feel as if I want to go that route until I get to the bottom of it. And then when I get to the bottom of it, more than likely, if I got to go through all of that, I'm pretty probably going to be out because what's the point? You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing I don't understand about when I hear about people cheating is people will get in a narcissism bag. They'll get in a I'm grown bag. They'll get in I'm doing this for me bag. And then they lie about it. And to me, that's a contradiction. If you bold enough to do it, you should be bold enough to say you did it. If you man enough to go out here and cheat on your wife, then you should be man enough to walk in there and tell her. If you woman enough to cheat on your husband, then you should be woman enough to walk in there and tell him. Like you was a big girl when you was doing what you wanted to do. You was a man when you was doing what you want to do. Well, do it all the way out. Then I can respect that. Other than that, I can't respect it. It's some little kid shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just me. Caramel writes, keeping it 100 helps to maintain healthy relationships. It does, 100%. Brandy writes, selfish is what it is. It's not just selfish, Brandy. It's not just selfish because I think all humans are selfish. We're all God's little selfish creatures. We got things that we want. We want what we want. I don't know what it is. I can't come up with a word. Let me see. I can't come up with the word fast enough, but it's selfish. It's way beyond selfish. It's narcissism. It's I don't know. I don't know what the word is. Bo Ryden writes, what Jasmine say? Don't forget to pick up your feelings, bleep. Danita writes, what I can't stand is when everyone knows about the spouse. Why embarrass your spouse like that? Walking around in love and everybody's whispering behind their back. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about that. That's the thing about the respect part because, that can definitely happen. That can definitely happen. And it's like, I can see Kenya feeling like, well, why are you giving these other people any kind of anything and I'm supposed to be your partner? Like out of just basic respect, why not tell me so I know at all times and know where people coming from and know how to handle people? That's how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to put no woman above my wife. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just some things I think shouldn't be done. Brandy writes, disrespectful as well. I agree with that. But when people don't respect themselves, how you expect them to respect you? You got people that you got a lot of adults out here that got low self-esteem. They got super low self-esteem and they're looking for validation with other people. And these other people are looking for sex. And so it becomes boom, tit for that. I'm gonna give you the validation you want, and you're gonna give me the sex I'm looking for. So if you're dealing with somebody with low self-esteem and they really don't value themselves, they don't really value their body, they don't really respect themselves, there's no way in the world they can respect anybody else. Just like some of these boys out here pulling the trigger. They don't care if they live or die. Why would they care about you living and dying? So I think it becomes some of that. Let me see. Brent writes at Regina, Danita, Billy, and Jean, look at all of this long-term black love goes against stereotypical narratives about us. Yeah, add the Ivies to that too. 21 years this month. Most deaf. Now, will we make another 21 years? You have to wait and see. I don't know. I'd like to. That's my plan. I think the wifey's pretty dope. But, you never can tell. Things can change in a heartbeat. Kinda, not really, but kinda. But what do you think? Brandy writes, so true, shaking my head. Absolutely. Most deaf. Now, do we have any cheaters in the house? And I'm not talking about your current relationship, but are there any people who have ever cheated in a relationship? I have. I told you, when I was younger, I had a girlfriend. I was not faithful at all. I had no intention on being faithful. My intention was to be the typical selfish young male. I wanted to have my girlfriend to myself, and she was faithful only to me. I was the only person getting that. And then I wanted to go out and have other women. That's exactly what I did. Why did I do it? I did it because for sex. I wanted to. Did I love my girlfriend? Yeah, very much so. I loved her way more than any of them other chicks. Way more. But the other chicks was just fun. Now, of course, I'm talking about my early 20s. That's what people do then. You know what I'm saying? Any cheaters in the house? I want to know. Come on now. Not your current relationship. I'm talking about in a previous relationship. Don't tell on yourself. I'll just keep it real with you. Ain't no reason to lie. It's the truth. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. That's what I was doing. I had the girlfriend over here. She checked off all the boxes I wanted from a girlfriend. All right. I wanted to be monogamous. I wanted her to be monogamous to me. And at the same time, I was out doing whatever I wanted to do with other women, dating other girls, all kind of stuff. But then I had my girl over here who I wanted to be monogamous. What dude didn't do that? I know I ain't alone in that. I know I ain't alone. Danita writes, I think in the past people stayed because of kids respecting vows, even when the cheater didn't. It was almost like divorce was a bad thing. People would rather be miserable than people now. I agree with you. Politically Petty Podcast show writes, I use a foot wedge every now and then on the course. Huh? You cheating on the golf course, man? Look at you. All right, 9:37. That is my time, folks. I really appreciate you for being here. I will be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning, bright and early. We will chop it up on everything that's happening. I've got some guests lined up throughout the rest of the week. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow morning. All right. Take care of yourself, family. Appreciate you. Remember our motto as we get our Monday started. Winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. I'm Nate Ivy and I'm out.